So first, gardening expectations. I wish we could all have Bridgerton-style gardens or homey cottage gardens with various flowers and wild edibles. And after watching tons of Ron Finley, aka Gangsta Gardener, and James Prigioni from the Garden Channel, I was ready to get down and dirty in my own garden and transform my plain, ugly plot of rocks into a thriving food forest.
Now for the reality. First, the sad parts. There was a lot of death in my garden, a lot of memento mori. Nearly 50% of everything that I started either never germinated or died, just plain old died. Or even worse, they did germinate, I managed to grow things, but then they never produced any fruits. I'm still learning how to improve conditions for my plants. It's a lifelong struggle. I also ended up having a really bad slug infestation. I wish I had photos, but to put it all into perspective, I would go outside at night after a night of rain. So as an example, usually they came out after it would rain or while it was raining. And I would have, I kid you not, thousands of slugs all over the side of my house, all over my garden beds. And they were just munching away on all my greens, all my marigolds, anything that was leafy and delicious. I just can't grow marigolds anymore, and they're some of my favorite flowers, but they get decimated by the slugs in only a few days. I also have these really bad summer heat waves where the sun is sometimes so harsh on my plants that it causes the fruit blossoms to just drop despite daily watering and using wood chips. There were also some months where the wasps were so bad that I couldn't get near my plants. I know that I shouldn't, but I'm sorry. I run from anything that can sting me because they're terrifying. Stinging bugs hurt. And I know one day I will get lit up. One day it will happen, but hopefully not right now. Another thing as far as reality goes, you will run into wildlife. Like, no joke, you will. You will have to deal with wildlife. If you're lucky, you'll run into a garter snake. If you're unlucky, you'll run into a cottonmouth. And the healthier your garden, the more terrifying the wildlife. Unfortunately, I accidentally deleted some footage, but I did run into several snakes, even inside my pots. And I've had to learn how to differentiate between the venomous ones and the non-venomous ones. Before I gardened, there were never snakes around my house. I had lived in this house for about 4 years, and then all of a sudden, once I put the garden in, bam, snakes everywhere. I've had to learn how to accept that if you're gonna have a healthy garden, you're gonna have snakes. And I had to get used to the fact that healthy gardens will produce not just snakes, but a lot of things that you don't want. Maybe there's some insects or birds that you don't want around your garden simply for the fact that they will steal your food. The good thing is that having snakes isn't all that bad, even though you do have to be careful. They have reduced, for example, the rodent population, and they do eat up the insects that wreak havoc on your garden. So there are some good things, but I did learn that you should be good to them, and if you're good to them, they'll be good to you. The healthier your garden, the more you'll also have to share with the wildlife. So you're growing food, you're on a roll. You've got lettuce here, you've got kale there, you've got maybe a whole bunch of really beautiful tomatoes. Well, birds will run away with your cherry tomatoes, as will the squirrels. They'll also run away with your berries. And sometimes that cute little bunny will take all your lettuce. All your lettuce belong to us. You will not think that they're cute when you've got rows of gorgeous butterhead lettuce and then they're just gone because bunnies. I swear, ever since the bunnies started taking stuff, you're gonna start looking at them like they're food. Another thing, you will not be wearing beautiful pinafores while tending to your garden. This is messy work with a lot of dirt, a lot of mud, a lot of manure, a lot of bugs. So I was like, screw this dress crap. I got up in there with sweats and hoodies or a t-shirt and pants and beat up shoes. I didn't want to risk getting rashes and cuts because you will. And I didn't want to deal with hitchhikers in the form of ticks. You will bring in ticks and other creepy crawlies, and you have to learn how to just remove them with your own hands. You will also get hurt while gardening, whether it is something stinging you, because I've gotten lit up by lots of mosquitoes and flies. You will also have to deal with being stabbed by thorns or stabbed by dead foliage. You'll have to deal with splinters from your raised beds or your fences, or even just straining your back. There's a lot of bending that you take for granted whenever you're gardening, and it's just a lot of pain all around. It's